Okay, so this is the Tuesday, April 28th, 2026 Shutesbury Cemetery Commissioners meeting. And I have 6:05.
Yep. I do.
Start the meeting. All right. First on the agenda, review and approve the minutes of the March 24th, 2026 meeting.
Gonna call roll.
Oh, I guess I could call the roll. Yes, thank you. That's one thing I should put on the agenda. We usually don't do that with three people, but
Yeah.
all right, we'll do the roll. Uh, Dina Standard is here, along with Susan
Aye.
Millinger and Walter Tibbetts, the chair.
Thank you, Walter.
All right. And then the minutes of the March 24th, 2026 meeting. I did not print them out, but I believe I looked them over and they were okay, I guess.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty straightforward.
Yeah. No questions
They
or
are
concerns.
pretty straightforward. I made one call to the JCA, didn't follow up, and they haven't followed up, and that's on me.
Okay. And I didn't get you the information, the permit either, so um
Yeah, that.
we'll have to we'll get together on that.
Let us bump that forward, I guess.
Yep. Okay. All right. So I guess hearing no changes, corrections, or anything to the minutes, we'll accept the motion to accept them.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Dina,
Aye.
Susan,
Aye.
and Walter, aye. So we approve the minutes. All right, next on the agenda, lot sales and burials. I actually have been doing a bit of that lately. We sold one lot, conventional burial lot, to Shutesbury family, Rahorka. Um, and there will be a burial. It will be her brother. Sometime I've got the date written down. I think it's potentially in May, later May. Um, then just the other day, Saturday, I finally met with Mr. Haffey from Cushman Road. We were supposed to try to meet before, in the late fall, and then the snow came, and it was a little difficult to do that. But we finally got together the other day, and he picked out two green burial lots, way up in the corner, right
Two
next to the
whole,
tree line.
two
Was
whole
that?
lots?
Yeah, he bought two, well, not two whole plots, two lots, so two burials. So
Oh,
one
two
for him and
plots.
his wife. Yeah. Two plots.
Two plots.
Yes. Yep.
Right, Tina?
Or lots.
There you go. I'm listening carefully.
I think actually, yeah, whatever. Two individual burial locations. How's that?
That sounds good.
Whatever that's a lot or a plot.
I think
And then there is one in the works, and we should discuss this, even though she's tried to pay already. This is a woman that started this process quite some time ago because she had even picked out a lot, a plot, whatever, a location in the green burials, and she had it marked on the sheet that she'd started filling out, and never really followed through. And then she decided to start following through. She lived apparently for many years at on Baker Road at Cirrus Community, and possibly in a couple other locations around. So she was a town resident. I guess I told her we would probably have to discuss that, although she went ahead and sent the order form or one of the plot order forms that I don't know if she printed it out or if I gave her one last time. And I told her that she needed to send a check made out to the town of Shutesbury, She sent a money order made out to the Shutesbury Cemetery Commission.
Oh
Uh,
dear.
So, in discussing with the treasurer and that if that was an acceptable form, he's afraid, especially being that it's made out to the Shutesbury Cemetery Commission, that the bank would not accept it. So I did send her an email back, let her know, and sent the money order back to her, and she is going to then send a check um, with the proper amount and made out to the town of Shutesbury. And at such point, then I'll move forward with the paperwork for her lot. As long as everybody is in agreement that she was at one time a Shutesbury resident. And it's kind of hard to check that unless I go to Serious Community and ask if she was there and when. But
do you know how long ago she was saying she lived here?
oh, she was here for. I think she said she was here over 10 years, in the Baker Road area. So I'm
That's a
just not.
significant stay.
Yeah, that
Was
sounds
that?
like a good state.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she was here for a significant amount of time, so I didn't really question it too much. When the thing was, she had a friend call to do this at first, and I was like, well, we need to know that anybody can say they were from Shutesbury or lived in Shutesbury. We need something that we can verify it, either an address or something like that.
Is
Time
she living
period.
away?
What was that?
Does she live far away or is she still
Oh,
sort of
she lives in East Hampton right now.
okay, so not far.
No, not far. No, I think it's more a retirement community or something like that.
What's her
Um,
name?
her
Oh, I know
name.
what her name is because I know somebody from the Sirius area who lives in East Hampton, but I saw the name on Cemetery Commission website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So last name Pauly. Yeah.
yeah. It's not my friend. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if when she sends the check, that will be actually four plots that are sold, all well three locations, burial locations for town residents and one out of town. So
And three in the green burial area and one in the conventional area.
yep, yep. So the ones that she was looking at, let me grab the paper if you want to, for the record, the person from East Hampton had chose lot 261D as in Delta. And that's a green burial. And then Mr. Haffey chose 256B as in boy, D as in dog. So those are up the northeasternmost corner, right along the tree line up there. So he really liked between the tree line and the rhododendron that's there. So he really liked that spot. And then the other one, the conventional burial. Hmm. Give me a half a second, see if I can find it right here. Yep, actually I do. That lot is 267D as in Delta.
Walter, I still feel like I need to sit in on one of these meetings with people since I wouldn't know how to conduct one if you
Sure.
were.
Yeah, I mean, some of these were like kind of like last minute,
Yeah,
type things, but
but if you text me and I can meet you, I would.
okay. Sure. I will try to remember that for the next one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm interested when you're getting around to measuring a plot, marking it out.
that me
Okay.
too.
See
Also,
the
All right.
out.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do that for some of these eventually here. So,
yeah. So call us and we'll.
Please.
all right.
So what is the name should I be writing down the name of these?
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry. So let's go through these. The Shrewsbury resident, that's the conventional burial lot, is Rahorka. Rachel Rahorka.
Oh, I know.
Rachel Swab Rahorka.
Gotcha. I know the Rehorkas.
Yeah. Okay. It was actually her brother that passed away. He did not live in town, but she is buying it, and she's a town resident.
That's okay.
Yeah. And she actually filled out the whole cremational burial information sheet. So it will be a cremational burial. Um, oh, June. It's slated to be Sunday, June 28th. And just be a private family graveside service. The Mr. Haffey, that's Mark Haffey, Haffey,
Oh, thanks.
bought the two lots, the
Maybe they also talk.
256 B and D.
Okay.
And then the other one is Lucinda T. Pauley, Pauley, goes by the name of Shen. Um, she's the one she would be buying lot 261 D as in David. So there's been some movement on the sales, which is good. Um, Nothing else. Any questions or anything on lot sales, burials, anything?
I have a question on this, which is
Sure.
that if a person has bought a lot
Mm-hmm.
and um moved away or whatever, and we hear that they passed away, but their family did not know of the lot that had been purchased or chose not to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, do we keep any kind of track of stuff we've sold, but that person clearly died 50 years ago and that lot
You
is
know, that I don't think so.
I
I
know.
know there's been incidents where I had to try to look up something, and there's one lot over on road number one that is a large lot. There's one person buried in it, but it was like a 8 or 10 plot lot, but only one person buried there, and it was quite some time ago, as I recall. So yeah, because there's a case where if the family was never going to use it again, we could, at least divide part of it off and resell it. But I don't even know where the family is, or if they're still around or alive, or if anybody knows anything about it. So there are
Well,
some cases like that, yes.
that's one question I have. And actually, that question came up for me because I realized that my the plot where the plot where my grandparents are buried in New York City in Queens
Mm-hmm.
um has room that no
Mm,
one's ever going to use because none of us would ever want to be there.
right.
I'm like, whether it's something I could they'd buy back from me, I'm not sure. I mean, my great grandfather bought the lot in, probably the 1940s
Oh, wow.
or
Yeah.
so. And so, I don't expect any, but I'd like to be able, for instance, to donate it so that
Right.
there was a person, um, a family that needed burial and didn't
Yeah.
have resources, they could use it, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Every cemetery has their own thing about that. Some of them, it's you actually have like a deed to that lot,
Right, to
and
that,
if you didn't want to use it, you could actually sell it too.
that's the
Um, and I know
so
we
we're
kind of
we
ran into that before, and then there's other ones that will, if you don't want it, the cemetery will buy it back from you. Um, I guess I'm not sure if is that whatever you paid for I'm sure
No
not
one's
what.
ever asked us to buy back a lot. I'm not
Hmm.
suggesting, you know,
Right. We have done some transfers before. So I made up a sheet that's just like the cemetery plot order form. It's a cemetery plot transfer form as
so if
to
somebody
who,
wanted to transfer ownership of their lot to
right.
someone else, they
And
could.
it was within the same family name, just different members of a larger family. That one brother or cousin, whatever, had it in their name and they didn't want it anymore, so we transferred it to another, you know,
Person who might
branch
use
of the
it.
family. Yeah. Um, I'm not sure if we've done any actual buybacks, although I think it is in the policy that if we do, it's only at whatever price they paid for it.
Right.
So,
So we do have it in our policy.
yes, okay. I believe so. Are you saying yes, we do, or are you?
I thought we did, but I wasn't
Yes.
100% sure.
Yeah,
It,
it's
I'm
so I think it is
vaguely,
in the policy because I've read it somewhere.
Okay.
yeah, all of us have read it somewhere. It must be
Yep.
true.
So it's got to be there. Um, yeah, so that is another thing to look at is, especially if we start running out of room, is there are lots that could be divided up and, you know, try to contact anybody in the families if they're
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if you can't contact the family and nobody's been around for 60, 80 years, I don't think somebody's going to suddenly realize that, oh, maybe they have something and come looking for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we ought to have that in our policy too, so everybody knows from the get-go.
Right. So I
There's
think
nobody,
we'd have to talk probably to a lawyer just to see what the legality of doing something like that is. Is there a time period that you can say after, 50 years if nobody has utilized this or whatever, or any unused portion that the cemetery commission could resell or whatever. Yeah.
Or that it reverts to the town,
Yeah, reverts
right?
back
Which
to the
means
town.
we could resell it, or we could make it available to someone
Mhm.
without resources who had need. I don't know. I mean, oh, this stuff is complicated.
It
and
does.
we certainly need to say something about if we can't get in
If they
contact.
can't contact it, yes, the family would be contacted. If no family it's unable to be contacted, nobody's able to be found, whatever, by reasonable means, then the town could, assume ownership of it and their or assume unused portions of it, obviously. If somebody has, like if it's an 8 plot lot and two people are buried there and nobody ever will be again, that means there's 6 plots that are available
Yeah,
or lots. Wow.
whichever.
Yeah. Gotta get, I think we did define that one time and
We
I'm
did.
gotta,
We did. It's probably important enough.
I think it's a lot is the individual and a plot is a group of lots. Is that correct? I
I
don't know.
don't.
We'll have to look at that.
I go back and forth on which is which all the time. I've never been able to like settle my mind in like one spot.
Yeah. It's one
You
of
know,
those
probably
interchangeable things, but they mean quite a bit different.
we probably need something like that. What we decided is a statement, someplace where we
Right.
can find it easily, like on
Yeah,
Right.
the website.
yeah.
Okay. Something to look into. Define lot and plot. Okay. All right. And I'm going to mark down just to text you guys on the next sale or measuring.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Because I would like to, if I watch these things happen, I'll understand how to do them. It's the way I learn, I think.
Okay. Anything else on sales, burials, stone installations. Okay. We will move on to the green burial guidelines.
But we made progress, and I read through this afternoon, and I think that we are closer. I don't think they're quite done yet, and what I'd like to do is go through another time, Susan, and send them back to you. Because to answer those questions that are in them. I think they're getting more clarified, but there's a couple of things where either the language is a little bit like could be smoother. And the vital record stuff has been changing. The whole vital record system got changed. So the
Oh,
whole
did it?
part in here about the proclamation of death forms and stuff, I want to review and make sure we've got the right names of stuff and stuff and who does what. But yes, hospice does that, to answer your question, Susan. If the person has hospice is
Yes.
the declaration paperwork.
Yep.
But then the
They can do
funeral,
the pronouncement and all the paperwork and everything else. Yeah.
and the other thing that we need to change, for instance, it says, if a person dies at home and you don't have hospice, you should call the Shutesbury police. And like I changed that to be the police in the town where the person has died, because they may not, if they're living in East Hampton, they don't.
Okay, sure.
So
Yeah.
that, so there were just a couple of little things like that. I like the way you sort of refer to Lee's stuff so they get more information. And I think that in terms of our own discussion, once these go up, we have to be ready to have the supplies we're promising
Yeah.
available. So that we have to have a discussion about how we're going to manage that too before we put the stuff up.
The only thing I would change in what you just said about calling the local police, I would just put it as call 911 because you call the police, they are going to also send emergency service, fire department and or ambulance also. So I would just put it as, if the person has passed away at home to call, local 911 or local emergency services, however we want to put it that way. Police and fire will both show up.
Yeah, that's such an intense thing. I mean, normally if I'm
It
at home,
is, but it's
I
the
know, but
way
if
it
I'm at home with a
happens.
death, I usually start with the business number so I don't have to dial 911. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. But around here, rurally, if you call 911, you're going to get whoever's on duty, whether it's the local people or the state police, and that
Right.
is more sensible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about this, Walter. I balk.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
You've been out
if we're trying to keep people from getting into
trouble.
trouble,
You were
that's
you were
the way,
100%.
especially if it is state police that show up. Sometimes they're a little more skeptical of things sometimes, especially if things aren't done quite right. And been when I've gone on many of these type
Yeah,
calls. And the thing that, once we get there and determine that, okay, the person has passed away, there's nothing that we're going to do. There's certain things that we look for. And if it's that point, then it's, we talk to the family and I usually walk them through the whole process of what's going to happen.
when the
If it's
police
an
get there.
unattended death, they treat it as a crime scene until proven differently. So all these things are going to happen. It doesn't mean that they're suspecting you did anything wrong. It's just the policies that they have to follow. And believe me, I've been in those situations where we didn't quite follow that, and you catch hell afterwards.
Yeah.
It's
It's
unfortunately it's not an easy thing unless the person is on hospice. Then it is just one call to hospice. Everything else is taken care of.
this is this is the thing I tell people that's really hard, is that people don't understand that one of the biggest reasons to have hospice on board if you're dying at home is that you don't have to call the police after
You don't have
that.
to call the police. Everything is taken care of. It's so,
And it's not,
so
and you
much
don't get
calmer.
traumatized by all of these people through the house,
Yep.
their scrutiny, right? Which is
Yep.
reasonable scrutiny. It's just very uncomfortable.
Yes, it is.
So
And a time where the
you
people
don't
don't
want it.
need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right. But
So we really probably ought to encourage people to have hospice if there's a death at home and explain that it's because
Well, if
so
the
much
person
easier.
has some kind of
terminal illness, yeah.
terminal illness, yes.
But so many people die from accidents and stuff, which is
That's
that's
true.
when you're gonna dial
Yep.
911.
I mean, they just in the middle of the night have a heart attack, and we've done too many of those too, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
having
it's
almost been one of those, it is really weird. The whole thing.
yep.
The whole having people come to your house because you're having an
I mean,
emergency.
and there are certain things like when we showed up that you'd look for, and if you found those, obvious signs of incompatibility with life, injuries incompatibility with life, or dependent lividity, different things like that, rigor, all
Right.
that. But if you don't see any of those, we have to, by law, start performing, or first responders have to start performing life-saving measures.
Yes.
And and
Oh wow.
I've been in those positions where we've done that because the person was in bed with the covers, they were warm and all that, and you start doing CPR. And in one case, I'm not going to mention any names or where this was or anything because I can't, but we went to put an airway in, and the person doing the airway says, I can't open her jaw. And it was like, oh, okay. Rigor had started setting in certain parts of the body, and other places it hadn't.
Yeah.
But because we had actually started life-saving measures, it gets to the point, well, if we stop, is it abandonment? Do we keep
Oh my God,
going?
the ethics of this are so complex. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's in those cases, what you do is you go through the motions until somebody of higher medical training gets there. And so as soon as the EMers got there and the paramedics, we said, "This is our situation. This is what happened. It's yours now." And then they can pronounce that the
Right. See,
person is dead.
it's so tricky.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
So I think we need to include in this a statement explaining that if emergency services have to come, they have their own procedures that they will have to follow. You should be aware of that.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, because basically,
well,
we're
here's
just
the
saying
thing.
if
If
somebody,
someone has had an intense death like that at home, um, an accidental death or an unexpected death at home, and there's no hospice, that person's body is going to be taken away for the medical examiner.
Okay.
well,
You have to,
yes and no, not always, not always, because if many times they've come out and they'll call the primary physician and talk to the primary physician as to what the person's health conditions were. And there have been several cases where that through the state police or the police making the calls, it was determined that the medical examiner isn't going to come out, and that they have been able to call a funeral home and have them. Although, no, I take that back. The maybe the medical examiner didn't
The
come out, but
medical
I think
examiner
they did.
needs to come at
They
the
still had to
funeral home.
transport the body. They still
Yeah,
had to transport the body to the medical examiner's office, but
they
he
they
wasn't himself coming out.
right. This is that so absolutely if it's an unattended, unexpected death. Hold on. I'm on a I don't need that right now. Thank you. Then definitely
There
um
is going to be a process that has to be
there's going
followed.
to
Yep.
be a process. And I'm not sure how much of this the cemetery has to explain,
Explain, right.
right? And
So we got to watch out if we start explaining certain things, then we have to go through the whole thing. But
yeah, it gets really cumbersome. And I think that um people who are planning to prepare a grave on their own for a green burial are people generally who saw this coming and had some
right,
time to like learn what their paperwork needed to be and come and buy a plot and or a lot or
right.
yeah, the different parts. Um uh I think we should try and keep it as simple as we can, even though it's complicated.
Right.
Yeah.
I suppose you could say, if definitely if it was an expected death and that hospice was involved, that the process is, much easier. You could kind of explain that if you want. Um,
It's in there, and
yeah,
it is
it
pretty straightforward. I think
right.
it needs a little bit of tinkering, but
Yeah.
yeah,
And we could put a clause in, something in there saying, but be advised if this was an unexpected, sudden death
right.
that,
I I think we can put, I mean, we got into this part of the conversation because we were talking about um their need for death certificates and who's going to be certifying
right.
and what parts they need. And so I'll go back in and find out what the current state of things is with vital records and I'll find out from Grace the links to the forms people need and we'll put it in and I'll make sure she sees whatever I'll have her review whatever
Mm.
we come up with as a volunteer to me.
I am thinking back though, there was one case fairly recently that the person died at home, unexpected. But they were able to keep the body there. They did the wake in the house, or
Well,
they're
you
planning on.
can. If the
Yep,
medical examiner will come out
right. Yeah, so
and see
yeah,
there,
in that case, medical examiner must have came out and
yeah, if they
did
didn't have
something
hospice,
there.
then they must have arranged for the medical examiner to come to the house. That can be done if somebody is really rational and calm and can make some phone
Yeah,
calls and just keep asking.
yeah.
And um everything is possible. I just had the most amazing um conversation about transporting a body across state line for
Oh
direct
boy.
cremation, and the body had been, according to the tradition of the family, very specifically shrouded, and it was really important to the family that the shroud in no way be disturbed. Nothing be changed from the time the body was picked up until it was placed into the crematory. And the only way I could get a satisfactory promise that that was going to happen the way it needed to happen was to run that question all the way up to the chief medical examiner of the state of New Hampshire,
Wow.
who came out of their meeting and looked at the piece of paper and said, "There's no problem with this." But like, I
Hmm.
needed that certainty before I
Yep.
could go back to the family and say I'm certain. And people will be accommodating when people have special circumstances, is what I learned
Right.
from all that.
Yeah. Although New Hampshire can be a little bit different than Massachusetts too.
Oh, completely. Isn't that interesting? Yes. And the whole crossing state lines thing,
Yeah.
which meant, calling a funeral home and making sure they would help with transport. The whole thing was remarkable, just remarkable. Oh,
All right. So in other words, we still need to do some work on these.
yeah, but I
Long
think
as
we're
you-
making really good
Yeah.
progress. We don't seem to be in a big rush. but we are taking the care to do it properly so that once it's there, it's really there. And actually, the whole vital records system changed in the last 3 months, so
Oh boy.
making all the town clerks vexed. They're all vexed.
I bet. All right.
So I'll get a draft back to you, Susan.
You don't have to get it back to me. If when you've revised it satisfactorily, then you should just bring it back to the commission.
Okay, I'll do that.
I mean, because I'm glad that you're revising it. I knew that it need your
Yeah,
expertise.
no, it needs just a little bit, but I think we're making really good progress, so I feel happy.
Good.
What's next?
Okay. All right. Next, I had website updates, but honestly, I realized that the other day and I didn't print them out and go through them and, come up with some changes. The ones that we talked about last month were, it was saying, go to the website. Well, you're already on the website, things like that. I just honestly didn't print them out and go through them and change them. So I guess we'll put that one off till next month, unless somebody else has done it already, but I don't think so. So
Nope.
I will, that was my to do that I didn't do. So we'll skip that for now. So next on the agenda is hiring of former groundskeepers. I did mention that Susan and Mike were interested in coming back. Um, I did talk to Carl about that. He was totally acceptable of that, but what I said was because he is the main groundskeeper right now, that he would be like the head groundskeeper, and they would be there to assist them in whatever way. And we were going to try to get together, all four of us, and have a meeting. But there's been some different things going on with everyone involved that we haven't done that yet, but we are going to still looking at moving that forward and getting Susan and Mike back on board and working with Carl to get things done. Um, so what I want to do is meet with them so everybody understands who's going to do what and what their responsibilities are. So there's no hard feelings later on down the road or anything like that. So and everybody seemed to be amenable to that. It's just that we haven't gotten together and worked out all those details yet. But we're going to keep trying. Carl was out of work for a little while, which was going to make it easier, but then his company got sold and he had to go back to work. So that, took a lot of the free time that was available and took it away. So we're back to evenings and weekends trying to figure something out. So we'll keep working on it, but hopefully by next week I'll be able to say, yep, we've got 3 groundskeepers now and this is what they're going to do and everybody's happy. So
Sounds good.
So next on the agenda was equipment service. Last Saturday, Carl and I made this appointment that last Saturday he came here and we took my truck and trailer to the cemetery, loaded up both mowers, brought them here, and between picking them up and dropping them off, we spent 5 hours picking them up, cleaning them up, going through all the service, finding things that were wrong, fixing them, getting everything all back up and running, and back to the cemetery hearse house and put away. So the 2 mowers are good to go. They've had oil change, oil filters, lubed up, everything cleaned out, decks cleaned, all the belts, examined, fluids topped off, adjustments made on things. Found some problems where pulley wasn't working right to engage the blades, and finally found the lube point for that. They were not exactly, easy, and we had some problems with the grease fittings. Had to pull them out, clean them, put them back in, but we got everything working good, and it was good for Carl because he got to see a little more than just how to change the blades, but how
Yeah.
to go through and actually how everything worked on the mower. So that was really good for him. He's much more informed on operations of the mowers and how everything runs and works and all that. So he can be more, independent on that. If something like goes wrong, he can probably figure it out and fix it. So
Excellent.
that was a good 5 hours spent for both of us. We did also a few quick fixes on some of the other equipment. The leaf blower, the drive wasn't working on that, and that was actually a very simple fix. So that's back working again. So everything should be in good shape. Let's see. Any questions on equipment or anything?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Next is any other old business. Does anybody have anything that we haven't touched for a while that thinks we should bring up?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Well, I think we need to think about general guidelines for the green burials, the way we have them. The ones we have are kind of a simple list, and I don't think they're not all equal. There's some that are more complex than others, and I was thinking we might want to go through the green burial guidelines that parallel the conventional burials.
Okay. You want to do that for
Okay.
month or like, so I'll go through and read them and see how they are and
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to take a look and see since I'm the one that's thinking they need to be a little tidied up.
yeah. And you can and if you don't mind, just if you have them handy and can send them to me as a document, that might be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any new business or items not anticipated 40 hours prior to the meeting? Mhm. Okay. Well, that's good. We're getting things done. Just go back to, equipment and all that. Not so much the equipment, but Carl is looking at starting, I think it's this coming week, to start doing, getting back into doing work at the cemetery, cleaning up all the brush and limbs that have come down and start doing that basic stuff. It's not ready for mowing yet, but will be soon. But, you're going to try to get ahead on all the other stuff that needs to be done. So, which is good. All right. No other new business or anything. So the next one is on the agenda is set the date for the next meeting.
What do we got here for?
So
Let's see.
my calendar. So that would be May the 3rd. We're still doing Tuesdays, correct?
Yes, we're still doing Tuesdays and looks like either the 19th, the 19th is the 3rd.
Yep.
Works.
How are you? How are you for that, Susan? 19th, okay?
The 19th is okay. I could not do it the 26th because I'll be in Seattle.
Okay.
Fun.
Do it on the 19th and I will make sure it's posted
Yeah.
in plenty of time.
Thank you.
So Tuesday, May 19th. All right. Any other business before we make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I got nothing.
Okay. So make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Didn't think so. All right. Official roll call vote. Dina.
Bye.
Susan.
Aye.
And I vote aye also. Okay. Let me then, and I have 6:49. We'll call it 6:50.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to stop
Yep.
recording now.